Hello everyone, I'm Jonathan Page. I am CEO of Coleman Page Publishing. Joining you today from New York City in the Washington Heights neighborhood at the Ethiopian restaurant Ade Ababa. I'm joined here today by Grammy-winning hornist and now newly published composer Kayden Newton. Kevin wrote a piece, Hill House, which was commissioned by the Kayden Commissioning Program at the Juilliard School Pre-College. I want to thank Kevin for joining us today from his busy touring schedule with his group Grammy-winning. So Kevin, if you wouldn't mind telling us a little bit about the inspiration behind this work, Hill House, which I believe is a very personal story that you want to get out there.
Yeah, it is. And so this piece came about during the pandemic, basically, and during and right after. And I wanted to explore writing a love letter to matriarchs. And the person that picked me as a composer was Brad Meinhardt, who teaches there, and he was also really into this idea of writing love letters. We have so many important matriarchs in both of our families, and I also, because of this time period, we were trapped at home, and much of the music from that time period deals with coping mechanisms and also dealing with ideas of loss. And as I was writing the piece, I started to realize that for me, I was really writing specifically about a woman named Vernetta Hill, who is a person that's really an angel in my life, and I lost her fairly young. She was a really close friend of my grandmother, who died before I was born, and Mrs. Hill basically promised my grandmother that she would look after my mother, and she continued to do that. After I was born, she became like a pseudo grandmother to me, lived near to me, and I spent many days at her house. And one of the things I wanted to accomplish with this piece is not only writing a piece that's a love letter to her that talks about loss, but that also explores growth. So in that way, the piece has a lot of osha that allow for younger musicians to play the piece, but then there are options to make the piece harder. There are sections that invite the performer to improvise rather than play what's written. So that way, it allows a young musician to continue to grow with the music, and for the music to become something different as they become different musicians, and they can put more of themselves into the work, and in that way it becomes also appropriate for professionals to play. So very excited about this being in the world, and it was a labor of love.
That's great. It's very moving. Every time I hear the piece, I can hear the connection between you and Miss Hill. So it's a very moving story. So Hill House can be found at ColemanPageMusic.com as a part of our Music for Our Time catalog. Other emerging composers are within that catalog, including Alyssa Mercedes Mena and Brittany Benton. Coleman Page Music is also the official home of the music of composer Valerie Coleman. So I want to thank Kevin once again for joining us today, and go to ColemanPageMusic.com for more information on this work and other works in the catalog. Thank you again.